Our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
July from Nottingham, England, the World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com. We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ulti TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and fund our work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Sunshine on my shoulders. I'm alive and breathing, living my best life. Love is on my mind and it's making it high.
Welcome back to the beach. We haven't gone anywhere, but you surely back at home, coming and going, waiting for these feeds to start and get going. We are here at EBUCC. It's finals day. And we're into the open division here on Ulti TV. I'm Stef Pazzo here with the esteemed Benjamin Reese. Benji, tell us about what we've got in front of us for this open final after that Guayota just won the women's final.
Well, it could be a Tenerife double because Guayota are also here in the open final up against the undefeated Magic Disc from Angers in France. And I think maybe going into the weekend, you'd probably have Guayota as the favourites, but given how the two sides have performed since arriving in Royan, maybe you'd give Magic Disc the edge here.
Yeah, I think Magic Disc do have the edge. I don't know, Benji. It goes back and forth. Magic Disc have gone undefeated throughout this championship, throughout this tournament. They have been tested along the way. They've had some tight matches. They've had some blowouts of opposition. Guayota has slowly and surely got better and better over the course of this weekend, and it is tough to slice them. To give advantage one way or the other is something I am just not about to do. And as such, we're going to have to wait and see how this slices itself out on the pitch. We've still got a few minutes till opening pull here.
Yeah, if we have a look at how these two sides got to this game, Guayota coming out of open pool A, a 13-5 win over Stout of Bounds from Ireland, 13-6 win over Disc Kick Berlin, 13-8 loss to Trois, who we saw pick up the bronze medal earlier this morning, in fact, in a barnstormer of a game. That's their only loss so far on the weekend. They finished the pool with a 13-7 win over Chronicle Dizziness. And then a strong win in the round of 16, 13-6 over RFO. A tighter one, 9-11 they won, 11-9 against their compatriots Polvo. And then 13-10 over Solaris in the semi-final, which we streamed earlier today. So we mentioned undefeated and Magic Disc. Gonna They played a fair few close games this weekend. They came from 10-9 down to win 11-10 in their very first game against Sharks of Barcelona. 13-7 win over Gambozinos of Portugal, which we streamed. 11-9 over the Loon squad from Ireland. 12-8 over Germany's Saxy Divers from Leipzig. And then 13-6 in the round of 16 over Show Me Them TDs. What is it with the Irish and team names? Another Universe point win in the quarterfinals, 10-9 over Quixotes of Madrid, and then in the all-French semi-final, they polished off the other undefeated side, 33 12-10.
Yeah, a great run for Angers, maybe unexpected. They've had probably one of their best seasons in a long time on grass as well. Taking the bronze medal in the French National Championship. Knocking off is no good along the way, but still unable to get through to the final in the round-robin stages.
Yeah, I think one of the key players to look at from Magic Disc is Leo Stanguenek, the number 24 shirt. He's been having himself a hell of a weekend, in all honesty. 29 combined goals and assists, 15 goals, 14 assists. He's one of the more potent weapons. Look out for him to link up with Hugo Urban, as he has done 11 times so far this weekend. For Guayota, it's probably Jose Gabaldoni, who is kind of the talisman. 17 goals, 18 assists, so that's 35 combined statistics. And his connection with Pablo Dotar is something to behold.
Yeah, Dota, a great player there. The connection between those two is fantastic. Also, Betancourt had a great game in the semi. Of course, that semi just happened here this morning against Solaris that Benji gave us the scoreline for, but a great game to go back and watch if you haven't seen it yet. Guayota really showed their team dynamic, their speed, their, what we come to expect from Spanish sides. They come from Tenerife, they come from the Isle. You get a bit of that Spanish flavor, you get a bit of that island flavor, and they are, I could almost say like Europe's version of Boracay. They just churn up the sand. They've got fast, lean, springy bodies out there, and they are all across the board.
By the way, thank you to everyone who has been supporting Ulti TV either via our Patreon page, patreon.com/Ulti TV, where for as little as a beachfront beer a month, you can help support the growth of free live Ultimate. And if you're not in a position to do so, well, just liking and subscribing on YouTube is more than a good start, and now over 17,000 subscribers, and we thank you again for continuing to help our mission of growing the game.
Pat yourselves on the back. Good job, you viewers at home. Whether you got your dogs a fake YouTube account to help do it, or you just got more friends and family and sharing and commenting and liking and spreading the good word any which way, we're appreciative of it.
Interestingly, there is probably the stiffest wind I think we've had all weekend that is blowing across the field. There's a lot of sand and dust that is picking up with the wind, and it's blowing right to left as you look at it from the main camera, so looking like an upwind downwind affair potentially, unless that drops.
Could well be. You talk about the last time Angers was on the field, they beat Gambozinos. That was a bit of a one-sided affair. We had a very interesting field guest in that game. It was
that was that game.
Another one to go back and watch, that game. So at 0-0, this game, the first pull is ready to go. We're just under 2 minutes away from opening pull here in the open division. Guayota from Tenerife, Magic Disc Angers, the French. Let's see what's left between them. They've both had great paths to get here, showing off their differing styles. It all starts now, ladies and gentlemen.
We are underway a little bit early here. Both sides ready and raring to get going, and I, for one, cannot wait as well.
Here we go in their own end zone. Magic Disc kick things off to the captain, Cheminot. He gets it back again in his hands. Pops it up and over, and you can see the wind already playing a little bit with these throws. Kochner gets it.
I was going to say,
bounces to the sideline.
I think that's why Guayota have started this game by playing a zone defense. Don't let them get into their offensive rhythm. Whatever pull plays they may have drawn up, they're not going to be able to go to those. And ideally, just make them make as many passes as possible in the ever-increasing winds.
Cheminot dishes it off. That's Guergo. Still in their own end zone. They are working for everything right now. Kochner goes through every other player. There's been about 7 or 8 touches, and that one too far for Cheminot. And watch out, the Guayota counter-strike has been vicious the last time we saw them.
There was the space for the lead pass, but it's always tricky when the receiver's going directly away from you, and it hung up enough that the defender was able to come in and slap it to the floor, and now Gabaldoni picks up.
Gabaldoni gets the under. That one fed directly over to Jimenez. Jimenez to Gabaldoni, who has jumped over to the D-line to start this game. Normally starts with the that one shot deep and knocked away by Cheminot to get it back for a chance for his team.
In the semi-final against Solaris, Guayota's D-line touched the disc 3 times, and all of them were assists from Miguel Jimenez, but not this time, with the wind obviously playing a bit more of a factor, and Gabaldoni going cheeky with the high release flick, but as you mentioned, Cheminot was ready and waiting for it.
Yeah, maybe Jimenez's hand has cooled off just a bit, or maybe that's the wind that's cooling it off. We'll see as this game progresses. Tucked into the sideline corner, the same throw that caused a turnover works this time to Guergo. Kochner to Cheminot. High stall count now. He spins around every which direction and has to go over the shoulder to get the dump to work. Kochner to Pouplin. He goes for goal. Defense is coming, but not quick enough. And after a slowish start, they do hold and put one on the board.
That shot not as easy as it might appear because of the conditions here, but got the right edge on it to keep it going back inbounds, and Guergo read that one beautifully. You can see it again here on the replay. Pouplin just putting faith in the receiver there because the defender closes, and Jimenez already had a block at that point, but Guergo equal to the challenge. He's been the leading goal scorer on this team. That his 19th of the tournament, and a solitary assist as well.
Goodness gracious. Padding the stats. Here comes the O-line for Guayota. Of course, Gabaldoni stays out there, and the disc is in his hands. Gabaldoni sees Dota and goes cross field to him. Dota pops one up to Betancourt. Now back in the hands of Gabaldoni. Dota again. Dorta to Gabaldoni. Chapman. Dorta right in front of our commentary booth here near sideline midfield. Gets another under there to Betancourt. Shot for goal. Gabaldoni's there. And Guayota levels the score.
Machine-like precision from the Guayota offense. Just coolly and calmly working it down the field against the match D of Magic Disc. And in the end, Gabaldoni felt like an inevitability.
Here's another look at it.
Just ripping that flick into the end zone. The defender knows he's beaten. The only thing he can hope is that the wind just has a mischief, or Gabaldoni gets a case of the dropsies. But really, Stanguenek, I think, knew that the race was run.
Yep, Stanguenek, one of the top stat getters, as we've alluded to, for Angers. and a heck of an athlete, does a job on defense too. But interesting to see him starting this game on the D line. I don't think they do run OD specifically. They've got a couple hinge lines where some players go both ways. But as far as starting the game, having him on D, very interesting choice. Cheminot.
Match defense this time from Guayota.
Switching back after the first offering. Plan to Cheminot. Oh, and had to work for that under, did Guergo. Pouplan, and the poach came, and that should open up in the back of the end zone. Cheminot touches down, and they've got another on the board.
These are the sort of passes you want to be throwing on the beach. Those leading looks where they just sit for a receiver to chase down. You catch it, and you're already seeing everything in front of you. And I don't think there was ever any doubt in Remy Pouplan's mind about what he wanted to do there. It was always really going to be the rip, wasn't it? Have a look at it from this angle. Again, catches it, and he's already keeping that momentum. He actually loses his balance a little bit after the release, but just sits it out there for Cheminot to chase, and the captain makes it 2-1. I think for Guayota transitioning to match defense, I wouldn't surprise me if that's their majority look for the rest of the game. It felt like Magic just felt a little bit more comfortable on the against the zone in the second possession, and yeah, maybe it outfoxed them for a bit at the start. They got the turnover, but they couldn't capitalise, and then it felt like that something clicked a little bit with Angers.
Chapman in his own end gives and gets again, near sideline in the corner. Marquez comes under and dishes straight back to Chapman. Now the gainer. Betancourt to Gabaldoni, midfield. Shot for goal. Betancourt's all alone, and he receives for another quick hold.
Wind? What wind, Steph?
They are just blasting it upwind. What I do note, Benj, is the last final we saw in the women's division, Guayota was blessed to have their opposing team on the sideline for some extra help and support, and maybe gave them an advantage. They do have the inverse of that, but I think we've got a pretty French grandstand otherwise, and that could be one of the telling tales. Of course, the explosion of that grandstand on the last Angers goal, a bit more than the equally deserving goal there by Betancourt getting open.
Yeah, I'm sure Guayota would have nothing more than to silence this partisan home crowd, shut them up a little bit with a couple of breaks, just get the energy almost sucked out of the metaphorical building.
Yeah, what a nice thing to do is to silence a crowd.
Honestly, there is something weirdly deafening about like a pointed silence, like when your team concedes a last minute loser, or one of those. There's something it's quite unlike anything else.
An anomaly of sorts. Here comes Angers. Pouplan, his last huck worked. He's gone to Cheminot this time from the forehand side. The help defense knocks it away, and there's a discussion under the disc.
Yeah, Cheminot was the target. It's Babio, who may be somewhat appropriately wearing those sorts tucked in what you called I think was called a diaper style look. Both sides will be, of course, having the discussion, pleading their case, kind of trying to represent their point of view.
We've got some players waiting at the screen for a replay, but there it is.
Cheminot seemed in no doubt that he had been unfairly contacted there. Pouplan, I imagine, that's going to go back in the locker for a bit. Because
his first one worked. That one was a throw to 50-50 contest.
Way too aerial.
Pouplan gets the under into traffic to count. Kochner has the sticky hands, and Cheminot goes across to Pouplan. Oh, that's high, but well taken by Guergo. Guergo's around Pouplan, but there's all sorts of contact there.
And I think he knew it. Accepted foul there from Barbier. The throw was a little bit offline though.
Yeah,
Like-
made him turn around.
It should have been to the outside shoulder rather than the inside.
Cheminot shoots deep. Pouplan there under. Does he have enough space? Or can he get there before the D? No, he can't.
And you could tell that it felt like it was coming. Guayota had been forcing a bit more pressure. Things were getting a bit more congested. It was a struggle for players to get free. And again, just hung it up there too much.
Santiago Ramos, the D-getter, and he moves that one on to Captain Del Rio. Now up and forward to Babio. That one in for goal. Jimenez, the recipient this time rather than the deliverer.
Yeah, we mentioned that he had 3 assists in the last game from the 3 times the Guayota D-line touched the disc. This time he's on the receiving end. As you mentioned, there's the shot of a ridiculous high gab from Guergo. And again, you see that these are, they have to make tough catches. They've got defenders on their shoulder. Eventually the pressure told. And here's the scoring shot for you. Just sitting that one on the wind as well, letting it do the work and just push it free into the end zone for the score. There's your man Santiago Ramos who got the D.
And that's a break. As mentioned, these are the precious parts of this game, the make or break of this game. Collector breaks take the wins.
What do you make of Ramos wearing tracky bottoms on the beach?
Yeah, absurd.
Okay, good. It's not just me.
Not just you.
By the way, love the hustle to chase down that ball because he is right there when they catch it.
First throw in the end zone. Stanguenic. Stanguenic to Chevreuil. Underneath, that is Pechery. Deep for Stanguenic, but he is not able to get there. Too far in front. And another break chance for Guayota.
It might just be the angle that we're sitting at, but I was sure that Leo Stanguenic was going to bid for that one. I was sure of it, but obviously maybe just a little bit deceptive of quite how far away he was. Again, I don't hate the shot, utilising the wind well, but again, just maybe with the wind, put too much on it. Could have done with just kind of applying that little bit of backspin and just getting it to sit there for Stanguenic to chase and get himself underneath.
The chase was there, no option to bid, or he didn't give us one anyways, just a bit too far in front as Jimenez brings his laser out and gives the disc right back to Magic Disc Angers.
Well, it's good field position, I guess. It was kind of all he ever really wanted, really. And he really wrenched and put everything into that flick. And it zipped far too much. I wonder if he's expecting the wind just to hold that back a little bit. But he cut right through it.
Finding the spot on the pitch where that exited. Grelier. Centers to Stanguenic. Stanguenic's gone deep. Chevreuil is there, and that's too far. And we've had some end-to-end misses in the last few sequences.
Yeah, Magic Disc are not a team that's necessarily as clinical perhaps as they would like. Of their, let me do the maths here, 7 previous games, they've only reached the 13 score cap in 2 of them, which for an undefeated team is a little surprising, I think.
Isn't it indeed? We'll have to dig deeper to see how many times they've been behind and come back to get those wins.
But they were 9-8 in a game to 10 in that first game against Sharks, and they made it. They made the comeback with a break on Universe,
which was an exciting one indeed. Gabaldoni comes under. Gets the under, and quick continuation to Jimenez. That one's floating, maybe too much, but he has picked his biggest receiver.
Oh my word.
And what a toe drag. Well played to put that one in.
That is the most balletic footwork you are ever likely to see. More at home at an Angers Opera House maybe than here in the sands in Royan. This is not a great throw. from Jimenez. Let's not, you know, try and hide that or dress it any other way.
No, not at all, but the bailout receiver making the throw look a little bit better.
Somehow we just about found that soft spot in between 3 Angers defenders, and Santi Ramos adds a goal to go along with his earlier block.
Big old body as Ramos commands a lot of attention. You can hear him coming. And talking about these pole chases by Guayota, last time it was Ramos, this time Betancourt, but they are on before the first throw goes up.
And the zone is back. Yes, it's the wind, but again, it's also, they do not want to let Magic Disc settle into any kind of offensive rhythm.
Pouplan. Down over to Cheminot. And he gives and gets again. Great look through the middle to Kochner. He had a one-on-one in the end zone, but didn't like the spacing. Back to Cheminot, and now hits the deep receiver. Guergo with the goal for Magic.
It wouldn't surprise me if we don't see that zone again for a while, because I think Guayota that time just left too many spaces in the front, and Magic Disc were just able to piece their way through some nice zipped forehands through the spaces in the front line, and then once they got past, they ran the jailbreak well. They found those soft spots and did the sensible thing, just threw to open players. And when you've got 3 people committed near the disc, there's got to be other people who are free elsewhere, and that time Magic Disc found them well to bring themselves back within 1.
So 4-3 scoreline here from the beaches of Royan. EBUCC 2023 Open Final. Guayota in command. Dorta to Gabaldoni. Marquez goes right back into the middle to Gabaldoni, and now Betancourt. Chapman, Dorta, going through all the hands. Gabaldoni is easily going to get there and cashes one in for a slick point for the French.
A ripe, juicy peach of a throw for the score there. Lovely. Getting the low release, and he just sits it on the wind. It's like a present waiting to be unwrapped. You can have a look at it again here on the replay, just working it down the sideline. The cut develops from the middle of the field, and he bends the hips, gets low, and I mean, he's running away from us, but I think even I could see Jose Gabaldoni's eyes light up as he chased it down.
The reflection off the sand. So we saw that zone last time. Benji doesn't suspect to see it again. I don't either, but I still didn't hate it. I like that they get an opportunity to change things up defensively with an early lead. It will keep Angers guessing just enough. And that one bounced into the hands and almost bobbled. Oh, big layout there by Pouplan on the line. And another layout. They're coming, Angers, to collect the discs. They're throwing their bodies around, maintaining possession, and again.
You felt that Magic Disc were really playing in the margins there. And how many low throws can you rescue? That was one too many.
Well, the answer is 2, and the third goes away. Big opportunity to break here, but knocked away by Guergo, practically blinded in throwing his arm up on defense.
See what the plan was there. Take advantage of the fact that maybe they're a little bit rattled, having not only just turned over, but 2 sketchy passes before that. But Guergo was ready and awaiting for that potential threat.
Cheminot. Goes to Guergo. Cheminot was a bit disappointed about the amount of initiation he had. Now the big one comes. Cheminot settling under. Second chance is caught. Cheminot begging for the foul, but play on available. Bost goes backwards to Guergo and then overthrows Cheminot in the corner.
I didn't think the deep look from Pouplan was great. It wasn't the first time he's turned over on maybe a speculative shot. with the sidearm, and it hangs up there. Mentioned that he felt there was the foul. In the end, backed up well by Bost, and then just the overthrow. And when you're already down in the game, you cannot afford to be doing those.
There's a big shot. Jimenez send it. He's got his arms up already because he knew how good it was. Marquez with the goal in the 93 shirt, sorry, that is Babiao collects, and a timeout taken by Angers.
I think it had to be here. 6-3 down, another break. Get a chance to get your head set.
We're going to take a break for the timeout, and we'll be back after this timeout.
For the first time ever, from the golden sandy blankets of Portimao, Portugal, BULA and Ulti TV bring you the World Beach Ultimate Club Championship 2024. The best club teams in the world will converge on the Portuguese Algarve. With expectations for upwards of 150 teams, this promises to be a tournament worth bucket listing. Whether on the sands or watching the action from your screen, WBUCC 2024 is a tournament not to be missed.
We ask the questions, we get the answers. Have Magic Disc had the opportunity to come from behind this tournament, Benji?
Not really. They were down too early in the game against Sharks, and obviously they broke on Universe for the win. But this is the first time all tournament they've been 3 points down, so uncharted territory for the French if they're to come back and claim the gold medal here.
Figuring things out as they go, I suppose.
I mean, talk about learning on the job.
Let's put a grandstand in front of you and watch you learn. Stangrenic comes under. They're going to rely on him for a yeoman performance now, and a lot of contact there. Jimenez calls the foul on himself.
That's a pretty disgusting bid.
Yeah, that one should not be in the game. He's got to do a bit better, a lot better than that to keep himself grounded.
I think Mee's done really well just to keep his composure there, because I might be fuming.
And Meal lost composure by the time he threw. Now Jimenez picks up. It's the 75 shirt of Pitado. Gets the gainer to Jimenez. He goes inside and then outside. Ramos for another goal. And Guayota are flexing their Tenerifean muscles.
It's just, you look at this team and you think, I wonder how they ever lost a game. Like, because they have turned up in a big, big way for the showpiece final.
It is a tale of getting better every game. It's what they have done. It's what their women's club has done, and it's what they are doing. The Guayota side here just proving their dominance on the beach and taking the half with a 4-point margin.
And it might go from bad to worse, because Guayota are receiving to begin the second half.
Yeah, the chance for the double up. Things are not looking good for Angers. But there is lots of game to play. There is always potential for the comeback in this game, but they need that spark now. Do they ever need a spark? We said it in the last game. It's easy to talk about because it was a Guayota game as well, and a very similar style. And we saw little bits and pieces of sparks, but never enough to light the fire. They really, I mean, again, this is a case where I am shortening lines, and I am doing everything to win this game rather than justify playing time or anything else to that nature. Dorta. Oh. Or they take advantage of a gift or two.
Well, it works if they take advantage, but that's easier said than done against this Guayota side.
They've got the gift. Here's the unwrapping. Stangwenic goes high over top.
Love that throw.
Now inside, into contest. They count it right away. I see all of Guayota putting their hands up to signal Urban got the goal, and they do get a goal there and prevent the double up bench.
Boy, did they ever need that. Because 7-3 is tough, 8-3 is a whole lot tougher. It gives Guayota that positive attitude to begin the second half, but I tell you what, that throw from Chevrolet is not perfect, is it? It's a little bit offline, but it's a really good adjustment from Hugo Urban. We'll see it again now on the replay. Chevrolet just doesn't really put this far enough out in front, to be honest, but the layout from Urban secures it before Dorta can get there.
And Tenerifean, I've been corrected. I knew as I said it that it wasn't right, but Tineferno. The Tineferno's here playing as that pull, possibly never in. And just when they get a hint of momentum, Benji, a pull is going to put them right back on their own line.
Look at the difference between the way Guayota have been pulling and that from Magic Disc. It's not great.
That just kills that momentum. 10 meters out now, Dorta. Goes for the up line. It's there. Not in. Yes, it is. Chapman celebrates after a very brief discussion. And another goal for Guayota. The Tinerfeños.
Just the leading up line pass there. Wanted it all the time. And gets it in the stride into the end zone. Nikolai Chapman with the score. And there's the thrower, Pablo Dorta. Getting a mouthful of water. Just keeping himself fresh, because I don't know if we've mentioned this. It's a hot one.
Oh, it's a scorcher out there. And
high 20s?
What's that?
High 20s, maybe?
Oh, yeah. We're pushing 30, most certainly. I mean, in French, I suppose you call that dommage, to give a short field like that after getting your spark. Now they got to go find another spark.
I'd have used the word cadeau. It's a bit of a gift.
Stangenic gets the underneath. Oh, and overshooting Stangenic is Herbrand. Now they go deep, but Stangenic saves the day there and gets in the throwing lane.
I think even if Stangenic had not read that beautifully, spending all that time in the bibliothèque coming off, but it was a floaty throw, and I think it would have invited pressure underneath the reception anyway.
That one all the way across to Herbrand. Stangenic, he's starting to lift now, and they need him. Goes around. Guerlier. Ooh, that's too floaty. And Chevrolet got beat before the throw even went up.
Yeah, I was saying that I was really surprised that he threw that, because I thought that Petiado always had position there, and you know that Guayota are going to bid on that. It's I wonder if as he's throwing it, he's thinking, oh no, I shouldn't be doing this.
Must have. Jimenez goes across to Petiado. Back to Jimenez. Petiado wide open with his hat discombobulated on his head right now after that bid to Jimenez, and they're going to get another chance, or Angers.
The space was there for the throw. It had the right sort of shape, but just not enough beans on it, really. There's that earlier brilliant block from Leo Stangwenic, which was a remarkable read of the play. And then the potential scoring pass just sank like a stone.
Stangwinick gone deep. Elbain, 2 defenders. It could. God, there's going to be a call there. I may well have traveled out of bounds, but he got bulldozed at the end of that.
Yeah, we mentioned that the chemistry that Stangwinick and Urban have. I don't know why I dropped the H on have there as well. Yeah, there's a huge amount of contact underneath that, a bit of a massive humanity, and you can see they're all just tracking the disc, trying to follow it, but Urban's got position there, and he's kind of trucked through, I think, a little bit.
I mean,
by Ramos.
Yeah, he would have had a chance. I think it was trailing away a very difficult catch had there not been contact, but an opportunity would have existed.
Yeah, difficult, but again, you're providing him, or denying him, I should say, the chance to potentially make that play. And we mentioned Stangwinick and Urban. They've both come through the French youth programs, which have been very strong. Think about how good they were at the JJUC last year, both in the open and women's division. So it's not a surprise to see that they've got that chemistry down.
I think we've got some further discussion. Not sure if it's translation at this stage. The extra help.
Easy to take for granted because French and the French and the Spanish are neighbours, and they're similar languages, but they're not the same. And conversing in a language that is not native to you is tricky.
Oh, don't I know that much?
You still rocked it on French commentary, though?
Oh my gosh. You can go back and watch that game. Frisbee's, who did they play?
Mighty Hucks.
Mighty Hucks.
Not a classic.
Not a classic game, and I mean, not classic commentary either. Maybe the English version much better.
I think this is going to be contested. I'm not sure that everyone in the crowd is happy with the decision, but when has any crowd ever been happy with any resolution of any call?
No, never. Or seldom.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I might have seen it once.
Yeah, it happens, just not with much frequency. So all the way back to Stangwinick, and we're back in play. Oh, and Stangwinick flubs it. That is just, this is painful for Magic Disc Angers as Guayota pour it on right now. Jimenez to Ramos, another one on the board.
They've scored 6 of the last 7 now, have Guayota. 2 3-point runs with just that solitary Magic Disc break at the start of the second half in the middle, and they're masters of their own demise here, Magic Disc, and it's sad to see because obviously, you don't win every game you've played so far. You don't get to the final knocking off some really good teams on the way, unless obviously you've got something about you, but they just, for whatever reason, haven't been able to bring it out in this game.
Forgotten what they're about, can't find what they're about. They've got a winning culture, most certainly, that they have found this weekend, but right now that is buried deep beneath these Atlantic sands.
Your French geography is better than mine. Whereabouts is Angers?
Angers is, it's west coast-ish as well. It's, I think, just inland from Nantes, so it's west side, southeast of Nantes is the best I can do without...
So kind of roughly west-northwest-ish?
Yes. Kochner over to Cheminot.
There's the Guayota zone.
Effective again already. Kochner goes deep, and Jimenez covered a lot of ground, but not enough. Guergo puts one on the board. 9-5. What a way to make a living.
I mean, he ripped that down with some venom, didn't he? I think he's just probably a bit frustrated with how everything's going, and sometimes you maybe need a little bit of swagger and pomp about your game to try and boost up those spirits. They've got a kind of home support here. So see if you can, find ways to get them involved, get them energized, and make your task a little bit easier. And he really does tear it down. just under 10 minutes until cap comes on, by the way.
Time ticking away. Grelier set to pull. 9-5 on the board. Angers with the bulk of the work to do. Chapman goes to Dorta. Dorta central to Betancourt. Now Marquez.
The Guayota O-line was broken the last time they took the field.
Have they recovered? Betancourt to Dorta. Now back to Chapman, center field. Does he have enough field? Yes, he does. Centralized to Gabaldoni. Now shot for...
Oh!
What a bid to take it away! Angers going the other way. Now it's Pichery to Stanguenic.
Hugo Urban, you error.
Holy dooly, Stanguenic. Now, Grelier, Chevreuil, near sideline. 15 meters out. Looks to center, but the defense covers up. Now he's shot for goal. There's a pile there, and the shot was not worthy.
I think that's a high still. We know what kind of athleticism we've got in the end zone in the 24 and 25. Stanguenic and Urban, but the wind just pushed it over everyone. Good job by the defenders of sucking them into going early.
And the 22 shirt that is Betancourt comes lateral and gets the cut. And now to Chapman, he looked to go early, but instead Gabaldoni looking inward. Gabaldoni goes up and over. They're moving at a pace now. Betancourt catches in, and a squandered break opportunity for Angers.
That would have been such an energizer for them as well, because when you not just get a D, but you get that D, and then you work it and score, all of a sudden it feels like a whole new, I was going to say ball game, disc game out there, but they just squandered it. I mean, this is just unreal. It's like comic book stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That layer D. Here's another look at the score. Chevreuil let that one get away from him. That throw, close to inexcusable. He's got to stay committed to his internal options, centering options. He looked away a bit early and forced one right back to the defense. It's 10-5 now, double score line. And Angers, Pouplin does very good to maintain possession there. Cheminot to Guergo.
Use the poach.
Oh,
not like that.
They are letting the wheels fall off here.
Just simple errors.
Guayota, Pietiado, Babio moves on, and that is Del Rio, and that one gets away. Angers with another chance.
One bad turn deserves another.
Well, Cheminot racing under, but he's got company, and he's also got a grandstand to contend with.
Just rushed it, I think, was like, okay, Guayota maybe aren't quite expecting it. Let's punt it and catch them unawares, but the only thing that caught was the far sideline.
Disc going through the hands now. They're picking up yards pretty quickly. Del Rio now. Del Rio plays to center. It's Babio. Another inside. Babio gets it fed to him by Marrero. And it is 11-5 right now, Benji.
Whether it's an execution error, a decision-making error, Magic just goes so off their game, and it's really disappointing for them more than anything else, because you want to see teams playing at their best in the biggest moment, and they haven't quite been able to do that while they've had some ridiculous highlight reel plays.
So Angers letting the string pull away at the seam here. Guayota doing their part to keep pulling and facilitate the unravel. But Guayota looking incredibly strong late in this game. 11 points on the board, 13 qualifies the win. Stangrenik in his own end.
Urban again with a sick play.
They need more and more and more. Grelier, there's another one given, but that's not where they need it. Stangrenik.
It's great that they can lay out just, you know, for those discs, but a simple swing like that, you shouldn't really have to be laying out for.
Grelier breaks under the arm of Jimenez, and Stangrenik moves it quickly. Now, shot deep, Chevroy gets the left fingertips to it, but it bounces away, and Guayota have a chance to put 12 on.
I mean, that is agonizing, isn't it? It's a game of millimeters at times, and he was so close to catching that. First he was like, I'll go up with the right, no, I'll change and go with the left. And all the good work they'd done to get themselves into that position is wasted.
Wasted energy. They were really, we see it point and point again, where they just build up a head of steam and let themselves down and derail.
The crowd, for their part, are trying their best to get Angers back in it.
Ramos calls the foul.
Quickly accepted.
Jimenez demands the low grab. I thought it would be layout, but Del Rio gets there quicker than my imagination. Ramos using that massive frame to put two hands on it. Now sidelined to the 51 shirt of Gorin. He goes back to Jimenez. Del Rio. Oh, and a nice leading throw. Wow, they're getting everything to work. Diego Gorin with the goal.
It's Santi Ramos' world, and we're just living in it, apparently. Because there is like no window for that throw, and he sneaks it through and sits it on the wind, and it's the easiest of chase downs for the receiver who was got in. I mean, that's a block, an assist, and 3 goals, so that's one more stat than years he's been playing. He's only been playing for 4 years, the Venezuelan. Ridiculous.
So game point will exist if Guayota can manage to get this disc back. And by the way this game is gone, that sounds like it's a very high potential. Should they not get it back in this point, they're gonna have 7 other game point opportunities. Kochner gives and goes, gets it back, gets it to Guergo, then goes wide to Poplin. Poplin centers. Jeremy, big bid on it. Guergo maintains possession.
No surprise that it's Miguel Jimenez, who seems even more willing than everyone else to bid for anything he thinks he can get his hands on.
Kochner to Cheminot. Oh my goodness, that is just the way this game has been going. A sitter of a drop for Pouplan in the corner.
What on earth happened there? For a minute I thought he'd gone for the classic catch and instant drop spike, but what, was he going to try and get it underneath? And
he just put his head up and...
Oh my word, he clapped and just didn't get them lined up, or that... I think that just kind of sums up the game a little bit from Magic Disc, I'm afraid.
Yeah, this is going to be it. Championship point for Guayota after having a commanding game. 84 comes under Trujillo. Del Rio. Oh, and a point block by Pouplan.
Catch your point blocks.
Guergo to Cheminot. Cheminot goes around to Guergo. Now goes to Jeremy. That's Adrio in the goal. That one caught soundly, and they put one on the board. It's 6-12. Game point coming up again for Guayota.
Pouplan must be a very relieved man. Look, drops happen. I mean, they might have happened more than perhaps Magic Disc would have liked in this game, but it's always nice when you can find a way to get it back. I mean, an enormous point block. It thundered right into the hands of Cheminot as well, who greedily gobbled it up, and then eventually Avrior finds that soft spot at the side of the end zone with the hammer over the top, screaming for it to go. Guerrero catches, and Magic Disc, well, it's going to be more than a rabbit out of a hat at this point.
Potentially an elephant out of a hat is what they're going to need to pull off.
I don't even know if it's an elephant, a blue whale maybe.
Here comes Belancourt to Chapman, this very familiar O-line for Guayota. Dorta goes deep. Betancourt is there, and he takes it for the win. Championship point achieved. Guayota take the double. Open champions here, women not long ago. Benji, what a performance.
They were magnificent. Yes, Magic Disc gave them opportunities, but they took so many of them. And then in the end, just a bit of style. So they seem to be able to throw upwind so much more easily than their opponents did. They sat those discs out beautifully, utilizing the shape and the sit on a surface that is so natural to them and not to their women one. Not an hour ago. Now is the turn of the open side to take home another set of gold medals back to Tenerife.
I mean, this is basically a mixed championship once again when they do it in the two divisions like that. A fabulous performance. They were seamless. They did everything right. They took advantage of the mistakes. They made them make mistakes, and they made them pay when the mistakes came.
It was a good game plan, I think, from Guayota. They chucked in the zone at certain points just again to try and settle the rhythm, and to be honest, I think it worked because you could tell that Magic Disc were never really in a spot where they were comfortable. At no point in this game did they string together more than 1 point. There was just one here and one there, and just the one break they got at the start of the second half, but otherwise it was, yeah, Guayota were comfortably the better side here, I think.
Absolutely dominant. Looking down the stat sheet, there are a lot of exceptional performances here. Benji, can you take us through the stats here a little bit? Let us know some of the players that were working well.
Yeah, Oscar Gonzalez Betancourt, 3 goals and an assist. Miguel Jimenez, a goal and an assist, as well as a block, and a bit that I think we would have rather not seen. Thinking about Pablo Dorta, a master distributor, 3 assists for him. Gabaldoni, 2 goals and an assist, but maybe the man of the match is Santi Ramos, 3 goals, an assist and a block.
We're gonna take it to field level here any second. Hannah Pendlebury's got her hands on Ramos, who'd had himself one heck of a game. We're gonna throw to her and get some words from him about the game. Here's Hannah.
Stef, congratulations. Felicidades. Amazing performance, really shut down the French side. So first, how does this feel?
This is just amazing, like no words. Such a strong team to be part of. We had a really good opponent in front of us, but we managed to face them like really well, and just amazing, like no words. I just cannot believe it.
Well, you're going to have to find a few more words.
Yeah.
So my next question is, so obviously those 4 breaks that you got in the late stages of the first half, what were the real keys for kind of keeping those going and getting that momentum?
We knew from the very beginning we had to have a strong mark, be really tight with the mark, and just be there every single step they made. I think that paid off because at the end, that pressure just makes the difference. I believe that was our strongest point. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in terms of the first match point for you guys, to see that drop in the end zone, drops do happen, but certainly that pressure really did seem to weigh heavy on the shoulders of Magic Disc. So congrats for that. So obviously now, a mixed championship last year, open and women's this year. What next?
I don't know. I just heard there's some Worlds next year, so I just leave it there. Maybe, who knows?
Who knows? I think I'm backing this. Well, we'll have to see which divisions you choose to enter at the World Beach Club Championships, which of course is coming up next year. But thank you so much. Congratulations again, and enjoy celebrating tonight.
Thank you, Hannah. That was a pleasure.
Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Hannah. Great work to get some of the emotion from the field there. Love to see what Ramos has to say. He had himself an incredible game. And, I mean, everybody in those brown, yellow shirts with the turquoise shorts, they all played exceptionally well. They put a very good team game together. They kept it all very cohesive. And now out on the field, you see the two teams coming together as Benji. We have one last look at the team stats here that we saw throughout that game.
Yeah, it just makes all the sense, really, doesn't it, when you think about the flow of the game. 7 breaks for Guayota, and just so much more precise with what they were doing there. Cleaner on the holds and on the breaks. Just a consummate championship victory there for the Canarians.
The Canarians, what a game. We are just going to look ahead here at 3 o'clock start, 15-hour start. That's coming up in 40 minutes, 39 in fact. Our penultimate final, the mixed final that will feature Portugal's UFA and Ireland's Margarita mixed. That one to be brought to you by Benji and Hannah. Of course, we are so happy that you've been with us here on Ulti TV. We're so happy that we've surpassed the 17,000 subscribers mark, and we want to give more, and we're going to just keep asking to get more. Thank you for everything you've given us. Please consider, as always, becoming a patron. Benji, that was a great game. We're looking forward to the mixed one now.
I'm so excited for the mixed one, I can barely contain it. Good job, we've got 40 minutes for me to just take a breather and then get myself psyched up again for the last game of the weekend.
Wow, we'll let him get composed. Thank you back home for all your wonderful viewership. Thank you to our team of wonderful text camera operators for pointing these cameras and getting all that great footage back to you. I've been Stef Pazzo here with Benji Reese. Thank you once again, and we'll catch you next time.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
July from Nottingham, England, the World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com.
Thanks. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, Ultimate.
Ulti.tv.